Hey, how you doing? Bruce Major here with the Major Home Team and Realty One Group. And this is lunchtime with the Yankee Realtor. And the big day is here. About 3 days ago, you would have received some closing documents. That was the closing for your house today. Those closing documents would have given you a breakdown of the funds and a summary of what you can expect at the closing table about all the finances. That you got them 3 days ago, so you can have a little extra time to go over them, see if there's any errors, any mistakes, whatever it is, or to make sure you understand fully what you're going to be signing for. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me about what they mean. But as far as the finances and details, you would best ask and talk to your lender. He can break down exactly what the closing costs are for and you know what you'll be paying for. Now, also those 3 days give you time to wire any funds. Should you need to bring some to the table, you wire funds to the attorney. And if you remember, I told you about that wire fraud document that you signed. So I strongly recommend that you would call the attorney before you go ahead and follow through with any wiring instructions you may have received. Always call and double check to make sure you're going to send them to the right place and to the right person. That's really important. So it's closing day. Yay, you're going to buy a new home for you and your family. It's really exciting for you, and that's awesome. I really enjoy this part of my job. When you come to the attorney's office at the appointed time, I always recommend you get there at least 15 minutes ahead of time. Bring your IDs. Anybody who's going to be on the loan and on the house is going to, or even on the title, needs to bring their IDs with them to make sure that they're selling the house to the right person. In addition to that, you will be there, and the sellers will be there too. Sometimes the sellers can actually do this ahead of time. They can sign all their documents before you get there as the buyer, and their end of the deal is already done. And they can also, if they're not in state, they can do it through the email system or regular mail system, and they can get it done that way as well. But most of the time, if you're dealing locally, you're going to have the sellers will be there as well, and you actually get to meet them. This is a good day, you know. And so they won't begin anything until all the parties are there, unless, of course, the sellers had been ahead of you. But if everybody's going to be present, they'll only start once everybody is there. Then they'll bring us to a room where we'll all sit down in a conference room, you know, and we'll sit down and probably shoot the breeze a little bit, talk about the weather or whatever, until the attorney shows up. Once the attorney shows up, he's going to have a big pile of documents for everybody to sign. And he'll do sometimes simultaneous. So you'll have a big pile for the seller on one side pushing those papers, and another pile on the other side for the buyer and pushing those papers. Sometimes it's one at a time. You can plan on taking anywhere from, I don't know, half hour to an hour and a half. But I got to tell you, sometimes on occasion it can take longer. Also, sometimes your lender might show up. I have some lenders that like to be there at closings. They just want to, you know, be there with their clients and celebrate the great day that they're buying a new home. It's great. It's great to have them around. Also, it helps them to make sure things run smoothly, but all that stuff should already be completed. There shouldn't be any reasons why, you know, it won't run smoothly. And you sign a whole bunch of papers. I'm the buyer agent. I would probably have the keys in my hand, and as soon as there's some things you got to remember. It's the deal isn't done until money exchanges hands. So you can sign all the papers, both sides. Now it's up to the bank to fund the deal. And so the attorney will go back and do his little thing, whatever he does, to make sure that the loan gets funded. Once the loan is funded, that means everybody who needs money has been paid. Everybody who has is getting money, the checks are cut, and then everything's set. Then he comes back in the room, he issues out all the checks to everybody. The loan has been funded. Now the house is yours. And now you get the keys. You get the keys, and from there on, you get to move in at your leisure. I've known people who had they had a moving truck out in the parking lot at the closing. As soon as they got the keys, they've already moved out of their other place and they're ready to move in. It's a really great, exciting time. Some pictures will be taken, some hugs, and some happy smiles everywhere. And the closing is done, and it's an absolute great time. It's a great thing to be part of. It's one of the reasons why I like doing this job, is to watch families get to have a brand new home and a brand new start in their new home, and they're going to make memories. They're going to make memories in this new home, and it's really, really good to be part of that. More often than not, my clients end up becoming my friends during this whole process, and I end up talking to them at least a few times throughout the year. So there you have it. There's a closing. You're a brand new homeowner, and we wish you luck, and God bless you. God bless America.